Hey, welcome everybody. It is 7 o'clock. It's time for Sci-Fi Distilled. I'm not sure I like this. This is too much. We need the background.
Yeah, a little wider, please. Thank you. That's better. I was like right in everyone's face for a second.
Face. A little too much, yeah. So, this is one. Mary Beth's been asking to do this for a couple
I
of weeks.
asked for it.
You did ask for it. 1992's Sneakers. It's really not science fiction, but it is definitely tech, high-tech stuff, and it is some kind of.
It was high-tech stuff in 1992 when it came out.
I mean, it's still kind of. We're going to talk about that, but it's kind of science fiction-y because it's some of the science at that they're using, and I think at the time was probably not quite.
They were very accurate and on top of it for the era. We will get into that. It is since well dated, but we'll get into that.
Before that, I assume we have news. We didn't talk about
the news. No, that's not the news. Hang on, wrong document. Close that document. Open this document. Here we go. And as usual, Rizzo, I would like to hear your thoughts and comments on the news. Guys, Buffy fans everywhere are devastated as star Anthony Head, who played Giles, has passed at age 72 following complications from pneumonia. He was best known on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but we also saw him very recently on Ted Lasso as the ex-husband of the owner's ex-husband. Anthony leaves he was that guy. Anthony leaves his brother Murray, and you guys all know Murray Head. Murray Head did One Night in Bangkok. So yeah, that actually is very saddening news for the Buffy fans everywhere. Okay, something very strange is happening in the Doctor Who universe. I don't know. We don't usually talk about Doctor Who too much on this show, but every now and again, we kind of wander over. So back in 2005, whenever Russell T Davies took over, and it was doing great. People were loving it. Were loving what he did. He's the one who ushered in, first Chris Eccleston, but then he kind of ushered in the David Tennant era, and everyone was like, yeah.
There was some good stuff.
There's some good stuff back there. And he was supposed to return for the 60th anniversary specials and some new seasons and all this stuff. But their recent attempt, he's back now, and their recent attempt to kind of revitalize Doctor Who sort of fell flat. Like it didn't really work. And so recently they just came out with a press release saying we're no longer moving forward. We're not doing the Christmas special, which Doctor Who always has a Christmas special. But it is no Christmas special, and Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf have parted ways with Doctor Who, leaving the BBC to put the show out to competitive tender. And what that means is they're looking for a new production partner to take the reins and reboot the property. What is going on with?
Let's hope they don't hire Alex Kurtzman.
Well, that was the complaint. The complaint is they try the Who universe, the Who-niverse.
Whovians.
The storylines fell flat, and they broke canon, and a lot of people complained they were too woke, which that's a Kurtzman trait, isn't it? I mean, come on.
I mean, that's they in my opinion, they went down the same path that Star Trek did. It was like almost the same playbook. They completely changed canon. They threw away everything that had come before with nearly not caring. And they went very woke, if you want to call it that, very, very into the whole,
I'm not opposed to woke. I'm actually very pro woke. I just need it done in a certain way.
I didn't even mind the fact that they had a female.
No, I didn't either. I thought she was great. Jodie, what's her name? Loved her.
It was the whole rewriting of the canon where he was from Gallifrey and he stole the TARDIS, and that whole history of how he became doing what he did, what he is doing, whatever you want to call it. But then they just retcon the whole thing to it was this birth of the Time Lords, and it was just very done on purpose to try to retcon everything to fit some more diverse narrative that just didn't need to happen.
Agree.
I mean, it's just one thing to be, diverse and everything, and that's all great, but you have to do it within the canon and framework.
Do it within the established framework.
Or just make your own new show from scratch. How about that?
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want, and nobody can say
because you can make your own new rules.
Exactly. So
I don't know. Whatever. I haven't watched it.
I stopped watching it when they retconned. That's when I said nope.
I kind of did too. I was trying to keep up with Jodie Whittaker, and then I had to stop.
I didn't really have a lot of people didn't like her. I didn't personally have a problem with her.
I thought she was fun.
I thought, I thought she was okay. I thought she did the character, but again, it's kind of like, like Star Wars and stuff. It's like, again, I think Doctor Who is probably not as demographically male as like Star Wars is, but I'm sure it's probably still more. So you kind of have to play to your audience. I'm like, I'm sorry.
A really good example of
your audience.
Yeah, exactly. But a really good example. So Torchwood was a Doctor Who spinoff. It was excellent. It was excellent. Very woke, but it was excellent. Well, that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it.
He was right from the beginning. He was bi.
He wasn't bi. He was pan. Like he was just.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. Pan's probably more accurate. They didn't have pan when that wasn't really a term. I don't think even when they did that. But yeah, but you know what? Nobody really cared. At least
we just loved him
because it worked, and we loved him, and and he was a great character, and you didn't care that what his sexual orientation was, or it didn't matter because it was just a good storyline. So yeah, it can be done. We've talked about this many times. You can get these themes into shows without ramming it down people's throats and completely taking canon and throwing it in the trash.
Yep. You can do it within the framework of your show. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, we'll kind of keep our eye on what's going on over there across the pond with Doctor Who. I hope something good happens. Disclosure.
Just one last thing on that. It might be time for them to take another break. There was a break there a few years, and I'm wondering if we need a reset. Maybe give it a 5-year break on a reset, and then try again. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. Disclosure Day right around the corner, June 12th. So 2 days. So what's today? Wednesday, Friday. Disclosure Day. Early reviews. So the early screeners are giving it very, very positive reviews. A Rotten Tomatoes score has been generated at currently just on the early reviews. Currently, it's at 90% fresh based on 92 reviews. That's amazingly fresh for Rotten Tomatoes because usually it's not that fresh.
It is.
But whether or not these positive reviews will lead to a box office success remains to be seen. And Variety wrote that, the paper Variety wrote that the actors are quite good, especially Emily Blunt, who's freaking awesome in everything she does. But for all the film's slow build, it doesn't take us anywhere overly surprising. So I don't know, man. Like I was really looking forward to this, but now I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be so predictable. I don't know. What do you think, man? I mean, it's
I haven't really seen much about it. Like as far as what the story is, obviously, I know what the basic idea is, but I haven't really seen a lot from trailers, so I don't have an opinion on it. Honestly, God, other than it's Spielberg's film, so
I've seen a lot of trailers, and it looks like it's right up my alley.
Yeah,
because I love
like a lot of that
UFO alien stuff.
You like alien stuff.
Love
the other one I saw a quick it was actually probably the very pivotal motive. I follow ILM on Facebook. They've been posting a lot of stuff, and their big project that it's going to release in October was this movie called Whale Fall, which is basically almost but they showed a clip on their Facebook page, and it looks like that's the pivotal, like the big moment in the movie. Okay, I don't need to see it.
Oh, they just showed us the gave away the plot.
Yeah, it looks like from what I've seen from trailers, guy goes scuba diving off of kind of there's like an abyss off of a cliff, what do you call it, a ridge or something.
Yeah.
And he's a big sperm whale comes up, which normally sperm whales don't, they're not attacking humans, but it happens to be in the fight with a giant squid at the same time, and as the whale goes by him, the squid grabs the diver,
and he gets stuck down.
He ends up through a hole. If you watch the clip, it shows the whole. He ends up inside the whale with the squid. So it's kind of a Jonah thing.
All right, ILM. I don't know.
Yeah, ILM. I don't know. It might be a horrible movie. It might be really good. I don't know.
All right. Well, it depends. Were the effects? Did they look really good?
Yeah. I mean, it's ILM, so
Yeah, everything ILM
be
does.
Pretty good.
All right, let's move on. Gamers, hello, gamers everywhere. There's a new Star Trek game coming, and it's Star Trek Horror. Star Trek: The Shadow Frontier. The game stars Michelle Forbes reprising her role as Ro Laren. There was an announcement today. I don't know what it was. Came from the Bloober team. That's the studio putting out the game, and the newly formed Paramount Games division. It's called a psychological thriller. And the little tag says, if you like a really thrilling survival adventure, this game is for you. Trailers are out now. It actually looks pretty good. At least the trailers look pretty good. We will see how the actual game plays. Star Trek Shadow Frontier is planning a 2027 release in all the usual places: Windows, PC, Stream,
what
Xbox.
What was the one that just came out like 3 years ago?
Star Trek. You mean Star Trek?
Yeah. Played it. It wasn't bad, but it was insanely easy.
Bridge Command or whatever?
No. This was like more of an adventure type. You switch characters. Like
maybe somebody
you switch around the character, so you have some engineering stuff, you have some command stuff to do, but it's basically a story. Kind of sort of I can't remember the name, but somebody probably on.
I don't know. I had a Star
I just
Trek
thought
game
it was kind of
on my
almost
Oculus.
too easy. It was too easy.
Huh. I had a Star Trek game on my Oculus, but I couldn't play it alone. You really needed other people on it.
That was Bridge Crew.
That must have been Bridge Crew.
Yeah, I had that on PlayStation. Yeah. Bridge Crew is difficult to play alone. Yeah. I tried it.
All right, moving on.
Levels.
Anyway. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Moving on. Oh, kids. A new measurement from a company. It doesn't matter which one. YouTube, kids, has 99.1 minutes a day. The average person does 99.1 minutes a day of YouTube, pulling ahead of Netflix's 93.4. A year ago, Netflix had 100.5 minutes a day. So it's dropping YouTube. YouTube is now the most watched. So, and this is not a Nielsen thing. This is the share of time on the TV set. This is minutes per person, every device.
I know what they're not watching.
Our show.
Wait,
what?
No,
Sci-Fi Distilled.
They're not watching us.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I wouldn't watch me. Anyway.
Yeah, YouTube has climbed 28% to get nearly 34% of the overall viewings. That's actually huge. That's massive. People would rather watch other people making content.
I do watch a lot of YouTube on my computer.
I watch a ton of YouTube.
I watch it. I don't watch it on my television because then you can't. Because I have this blocker that blocks the ads. So
yeah.
So I can watch. So I watch on my computer, but I don't watch on TV. I don't have YouTube. I don't pay for the YouTube like subscription.
Yeah.
I pay for like other stuff like Apple TV. It's really worth it.
Yeah, I do too. I pay for some of that stuff. I pay for Netflix, but I mean,
anyway,
you are in the demographic, Rizzo, that logs in the most at 111 minutes a day. The fastest growing fans are men aged 55 to 64.
Yeah, I do watch a lot of YouTube.
Watch a lot of YouTube. And you know what? I too watch a lot of YouTube, so I get it. And Brian is cheering us on. He says 6 people are watching.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you, all 6 of you. And finally tonight,
Brian, I gotta ask you though, Brian. You don't know what I'm talking about. Brian, is Dan watching? That's what I want to know. Is Dan watch? He knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, go ahead, Dan-o.
Okay, finally tonight, August 7th. It's not coming fast enough, but it will be here soon. Super Troopers 3. I know you all want it here right now, but
meow.
We have to wait till August 7th. It's coming. Well, so you can start seeing those trailers should start coming out and all the promotion and all the interviews and all the
I'm gonna be in Las Vegas.
Broken Lizard gang running around doing shenanigans. That is all going to start happening, and I, for one, will enjoy every minute of it.
I doubt I'm going to
follow
go
them on social media
that weekend. I probably will try to go see it in the theater, but I'll be in Las Vegas, so maybe when I come home, I'll watch it. So I doubt I'll go to see it in Las Vegas. I'll be too busy with the STLV.
Ah, there you go. Well, all right, kids, what are we drinking tonight as we talk about heists? Because we're not talking about
the firewall. I thought this was kind of
perfect.
So 2 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of blood orange liqueur, simple syrup, which is just sugar water, and a little candy fruit for drink. That's it.
Sugar. So just vodka and blood orange liqueur.
Blood orange liqueur, yeah.
It's sweet vodka. That's what we're drinking. Yeah, that's a firewall, all right.
So, anyway, yeah. There it is. I will try to put it on the Facebook page. I didn't do that today in case anybody wants to go back and find it.
Thank you, all the 6 people who are tuning in, because sometimes I don't repost. When you put the promo up, I don't always repost.
Apparently, there's 9 according to my.
We're up to 9. What was Facebook?
10 just went to 10.
Look at that! Amazing. Welcome, all
That's
10
because
of you.
James canceled his bridge chat or whatever.
Oh, so they all came to watch us.
We'll go with that.
His bridge chat got postponed or whatever. I don't even know what happened.
So it's 1992. This actually movie is. I think this was one of those ones where I watched it in rental. Back in the early 90s. We used to go to the movies a lot, but we also used to go to the movie store very often. Blockbuster or local. There's local. We were living in Florida, Tampa at the time, and we would go and we'd search. We'd spend an hour, going around the video. How about this one? How about this one? That's something that
you have to agree on it.
Don't get. Even the millennials probably don't even remember. Well, maybe millennials, but Gen Zers don't remember the video store.
Millennials won't remember.
Used to buy the popcorn. They used to have the caramel popcorn that you could microwave. Make it yourself.
I remember midnight.
Anyway, yeah. So we used to do that. So I'm pretty sure I saw this as a VHS tape rental type thing. I remember liking it. I do remember saying this is a really good movie. I had not watched it since I just watched it today. Since then, I was afraid that when you kept bringing it up, that it was going to be wicked dated because it is 34 years old.
It is. It is.
And yeah, I thought it, and it is in some ways. In other ways, it's not.
And in other ways, it's not. I don't want to.
But I mean, it's actually a good story. And
yes.
And the interesting thing about this movie, it was going to be rated G, so they literally threw in a few swear words because they said if the movie's named Sneakers and it's rated G, everybody's going to think it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
So they threw a few swears in there to get it up to PG. So that people.
Yep. Yeah. No. This thing now has a cult following, and I don't blame them. I think this is a really good movie. You're absolutely right. Some of the actual technology, the actual tech that they use in the film is not just dated. Some of it's actually obsolete. Like you don't even see it or use it.
What's interesting though? One of the things they're talking about is all the encryption, which is actually for the RSA. People have heard of RSA. That's a type of encryption that we even use in the hospital to log into our computers. We have to get an RSA, and it throws a code. It's a number that it somehow the thing knows. If you punch in the number, or it'll just send you a text to an app, and you can say, "Yes, this is me trying to log in." But that actually goes all the way back to this era of movie. To that technology goes back that far. So we're still using kind of a form of what they were talking about.
Yes. It's evolved a bit. The A of RSA wrote and did that math when they go to that speech and the guy's given it's Donald Logue, the actor. I don't remember the character's name. He's given the speech about it, and they're both in the audience listening. All the math up on the board, the A, and I should look up his name because I just watched an interview with him. Did all the math, and he actually wrote that speech saying this is about crypto. Not crypto. What am I saying?
Yeah,
this is about
exactly. So it's interesting that some of it is not as dated as one would think, being even that old.
The whole point of the movie, the thing that Cosmo says at the very end of the movie, where he's like, "Who holds the power now? It's the people who hold the data. They hold the power." That's still dead accurate. Nothing's changed there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna bring that up too, because I agree that line alone that it's Ben Kingsley. Is it?
It is Ben Kingsley. Yes.
Kingsley that gives that thing. And he says it's like it's not about corporate. It's about it's about ones and zeros. And it's so true that everything is information now, and information is power. And it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Newman from Seinfeld. When you control the mail, you control information. Of course, you don't need to control the mail. That's kind of dated as well, because when that show was on, they didn't really have the internet.
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't. I'm typing out the anagram on this.
C-Tech Astronomy. That was Too Many Secrets, right? It was an anagram.
Yeah. So but the movie is lighthearted. It's not super serious, but it's just fun. Like I don't know. There's something about this movie like this. Back in the day, like you said, you hadn't watched it, but for me, back in the day, if I was flipping through, back in the days when we could flip, if I was flipping through and this came up, I stopped. I watched it like every time.
I don't remember ever even seeing this like in that
No, it was around.
in that way. Like I never saw it like on broadcast TV, just randomly on. You know, like I said, I remember saying this was a good movie, and I remember even at the time recommending it to people. So, but then it just kind of fell into obscurity because I think it was, you know, it was an old movie and it wasn't like my favorite movie. So, but the cast and everything on this is amazing. I love, like you say, there's a lot of things I do like about it. I love Aykroyd's character because he's the big conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
You know,
now mutilations are up.
Like Rose at the NSA didn't. He's like, the NSA didn't kill Kennedy. They just wounded him. He's still alive.
He's still alive. He in interviews he says he was playing his brother, although because his brother Peter is early, but actually he is too. So I think it was both of them. He was kind of sort of almost being himself, but not quite.
Yeah, he said something about this is the same microphones they used when they did the fake.
Yeah, the NASA fake the moon landing. Yeah, every single character is based on a real life character, a real person. Mother is Crease is based on a real person. Mother is based on a real person. All of them are based on real
Whistler
people.
Was my favorite, which is why I put my name tag because
Whistler is everybody's favorite.
I love the way the whole scene where they figure out where he was taken in the trunk. What did you hear? And he's like, the way they kind of figures it out, and he figures out exactly where they were going. I thought that was, I mean, it was a little bit of a stretch, but it was cool. I mean, he was the one that figured out because he said, he's like, listen to what he's saying. The guy said he has a, you know, like you said, he described what was on the desk. There was an answering machine, which again would have been very common in that day. But then he says, I have an answering service. So why would you have an answering machine? That's a lot there.
And they were glossing over that, like they weren't catching it.
Yeah, but he caught it because, again, they always say, you know, people that lose a sense, their other senses grow stronger. I don't know if that's really true or not, but clearly he was. But of course, it was funny that they, again, talking about maybe humorous, they made him drive at the end. You know, the blind guy driving the van.
Blind guy driving.
Which I always I was aggravated watching, and I'm like, you could give him better directions as he drives across stuff. You know, like you're just having him going like,
Robert Redford's like, put it in drive, and Whistler's like, I don't know how, and you can see Robert like, okay, down two. Oh, okay. You gotta like think it through. But like there's so many iconic, like to me, the shot of Mary McDonald dancing with the guys to Chain of Fools, that is iconic. All the stuff that happens with Mary McDonald in the restaurant with Werner Brandon when she's trying to get the words to make the tape. All of that stuff is so funny.
He'll always be
so good. And then we had like Timothy Busby and who's the other guy's name? That he goes, oh, so you're the guys I hear breathing on my phone. Nope, that's the FBI. We don't have a charter for domestic surveillance. Oh, you're the guys. Nope, that's the NSA. You know what I mean?
Which was key that he said that because that we don't have, which is true. The NSA technically cannot surveil United States citizens, technically. And that's why I think the ending, which spoiler alert, was so critical because it's like you don't want this to spy on the Russians because it won't work on their stuff. Yeah. You want this to spy on Americans.
Yeah. And he's like, I was never here. Yeah, the whole ending with James Earl Jones is just classic. Like my line, we're the U.S. government.
And then the bit, you know, where they're going through and saying, you know, what they want. And of course, Mother wants to win a bake.
Yeah. And River Phoenix, Carla wants her phone. Yeah. The young lady with the Uzi.
Yeah.
Can I have her phone number?
It is funny because she's like, she's like, wait a minute, you could add anything you wanted, and all you wanted.
You're asking for me.
Yeah. It's like, here you go.
Yeah,
he was good. You know, I was thinking about that. What a shame. I mean, he was his flame, so to speak, was so bright and short.
Yes, and he had just come off of River had just come off of. Hang on, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he wanted a light movie.
Yeah, he wanted a light movie because he just come off of My Own Private Idaho.
Yeah,
My Own Private Idaho apparently put him through the ringer. So he's like, I want something fun, and this fit the bill. Yeah, that is a shame. He would have done a whole bunch more, I think.
So, but so those of you who don't know, the basic storyline is that so he starts out, which this was the part that I didn't quite think was, or maybe I just don't know. It was supposed to be 1969, I think it starts. Something like that, 66, it's the very late 60s, and these guys are it's Robert Redford, his character is a very young man, and another fellow, which eventually becomes Ben Kingsley's character, are basically hacking different government computers or banks and things like that. And they're at a college. They're clearly, and by the way, the outside of that in that scene is the same as the clock tower from Back to the Future.
Oh, is it? Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. But so that technology where he's like on a computer, literally with a CRT screen and typing in. I know they had the phone in the the old style modem with the phone in the jack. I just seemed way advanced for 1969. I don't know.
Did they
Back
have
then, computers were like the size of a room.
They had faxes by then, so they would have.
I don't think they had faxes in 1969.
So wait, what was that called? Modem? What year were modems invented?
But I mean, it just the way he was doing it on just a regular CRT screen, it just seemed I could be wrong. Somebody who knows technology.
1958. So the first modem for a computer was 1958.
Yeah, but I mean,
what year did CRT screens?
Well, those have been around computer. I mean, NASA had them obviously at Mission Control. So yeah. I guess technically the technology
1934. So yeah, I mean, I think
the CRT has been that's what a television is. So I'm just saying it just maybe I could be wrong. It just struck me as a little more advanced because we didn't really when I started messing around with computers in the like late 70s, early 80s, technology hadn't really advanced much.
Yeah. The way I read that screen is that they were both very, very bright guys at a school like MIT.
Yeah, I got
that kind of thing.
Yeah. So
that's how I read that.
Clearly the feds or somebody got wind of what they were doing and raid the location. Robert Redford character just happens to be out getting a pizza. So the other guy gets arrested and allegedly dies in jail. Robert Redford goes underground, changes his name from Bryce. Is it Bryce to
Bryce to Bishop?
To Bishop. And he basically starts a company that will break into your company to show you all your security issues. That's kind of how that's the next kind of start of the movie.
Is a real thing that actually does.
It's a real thing. People do that. That is a thing. They will hire people to try to break in and see how good their security is and then tell them where their faults are. Sure. Ultimately they get contacted who they think are the NSA to get this device that can hack. Well, they don't really tell them what it does. They just want this black box. Yeah. They don't tell them what it does. They want this black box that this guy has. And anyway, they steal it from the guy. And then they give it to who they think is the NSA, and they quickly realize it's not the NSA. But in the meantime, before they give it to him, Whistler figures out what it does and that it can hack any computer. Like they got into the National Reserve Bank or whatever. They got into air traffic control. Yeah, they're able to hack almost instantly, right?
The electric, not the electric company, but
yeah, power grid, National Power Grid. So they realize that the power that this thing has, it basically you could, So they do end up giving it to who they think is the NSA. But again, shortly right after that, they realize actually while that transaction's happening, they realize that something's not right. So he gets away from those guys, and ultimately they hatch a plan to steal it back because, and then he finds out that the guy that got arrested back in the 60s is still alive and working he implies the mob. And he still wants to take down basically civilization because he wants to use this thing to.
And I kind of don't blame him. I mean,
Well, I mean, currently, yes, but at the time, back then, it wasn't that bad. But basically, what he was talking about it was we want to take away any evidence of ownership, so that all the wealth, basically the wealthy, anything in their banks would disappear. Nobody would be able to prove what you owe or own or whatever, and everybody would be equal, which I think is not really true, but
very communist.
Yeah, very communist. Everybody would be equal. What's the goal here? What he wanted to do, but I think he was just all you wanted to do is tear the system down.
He just wanted,
he just wanted to cause chaos. So anyway, they hatched this plan to go and steal it back from him, which they ultimately do.
They do.
That's the plot.
And that's the plot.
And then the NSA does show up to get the action, the device.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
like
the
even
thing, Phil Jones.
Some of the scenes, like the scene where he's talking to Abbott on the phone before he ever meets him, and they bounced the call around. That still holds as a good tension.
Yeah, they're trying to trace the call.
Like he's on to us. Like, hang up, he hangs up. He's lying. As they have the lie detector, and then they're bouncing it through, and Whistler's the one going, oh, they found Tokyo. Oh, they found whatever.
Yeah, they're watching as the trace is going through.
He's lying. Hang up. Like that. That's a really great. Great scene.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate. I mean, it might have been more accurate in 1992. I don't know how today, if they'd even go even faster, because most people would probably it wouldn't even be a regular landline call. It would be an internet call.
Yeah, probably.
I think would be even easier to hide. But I'm not a hacker, so what the hell do I know?
So amazing cast with our headliner Robert Redford, who is
let's go through the cast. That's a good
stranger to heist movies. He had done a couple.
Well, he did The Entertainer. The Entertainer? No, what's the movie I'm thinking of?
You're talking about
the song was The Entertainer. Was the
it's right on the tip of my tongue.
The Sting.
The Sting. Thank you.
Very popular back in his day.
He had done he did The Conspirator, but he did All the President's Men.
All the President's Men. He's done tons of. I mean, obviously, Robert Redford's done more movies than. If you go back way into the 60s, I mean, the 70s and 80s, he's done. Yeah, a lot of stuff. He was he was like the Brad Pitt, I think, of the 70s and 80s.
Not finding what I wanted.
That's the way I always looked at him. But
he was kind of the Brad Pitt of the.
You did ever see the one he did? I always thought it was a cool movie. It was really weird. Was the Natural?
Yeah,
it was the one about the baseball player.
Yeah,
I thought it was a strange movie, but it was good.
Ordinary People, All the President's Men. I mean, he had directed a couple too. So quiz show doesn't count. Hang on, I'm just looking at. But yeah, he didn't want him because they originally thought Bishop would be younger. They were going to go for somebody younger. But I mean, I'm glad they aged him up. He works brilliantly in the role. He and Mary McDonald have great chemistry. You can see them as former lovers, and she's brilliant. So the next cast member I can talk about is Mary McDonald as Liz. I love her. And I loved her on Battlestar. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, there's Mary.
I didn't even put the two together. I'm like, because at first I saw her on this, and she has a really short hair and it's red. And I'm like, why do I know this woman?
She's the president.
And of course I look, I'm like, oh, it's Mary McDonald.
It's Mary.
And she was just in the Burrows.
Yeah.
She had a small part in the Burrows.
Oh yeah, she was in the Burrows, and I didn't recognize her. And I was watching with somebody else, and they're like, "That's Mary McDonald." I'm like, "No, it's not.
I recognize
not Mary."
Really familiar. It's the same thing. I'm like, "She's really familiar." I immediately got my phone.
And he goes, "Wait until she starts talking." So I waited until she started talking. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Mary."
She has a distinct way. Yeah, she was of course the president in Battlestar. She was also the first lady in
Independence Day.
Yeah.
She dies. Yeah. So. I love her. So she was amazing. I thought what she did was pretty iconic. A lot of the stuff, she was the only gal on the set of all these men, which worked out because her character was the only gal with all these guys. And they took her in as one of the team, which was awesome. But she loved her scenes with Stephen Tobolowsky, who played Werner Brandis, because they gave them a lot of freedom to kind of improvise a lot of stuff. And they told Stephen, just make her laugh. And so she loved all that Chinese restaurant stuff and all that. So that was really,
He'll always be Ned Ryerson.
He'll always be Ned Ryerson.
Ned Ryerson.
That's who he is. So we got Dan Aykroyd as Mother, the paranoid.
Dan Aykroyd plays a very similar character to his Ghostbusters character, Ray Stantz, in this, I feel. It's the same.
He is very Ray Stantz in this.
Kind of sucky, but kind of just odd facts. Of course, it's him. It's always a conspiracy. So I just got the felt, but maybe that's just Dan Aykroyd's kind of bit those in that era. Of course, he's a far cry from Elwood Blues.
Yeah. We had Ben Kingsley as Cosmo. The man was, I believe, already, if not Oscar nominated, an Oscar winner at that time. His his placement as Cosmo is really interesting to me. The writing for Cosmo is weird. The way Cosmo gives his line, or some of his lines are a little strange, and the way Ben does them fall funny. But
it's interesting you say that, because I don't think they leveraged Ben Kingsley's amazing acting ability.
I don't think they did either.
I think they underutilized him quite a bit. I don't think his dialogue and his character was very interesting at all, actually, in this movie.
I agree.
I think he was probably the weakest character out of all. And it's not to say, like I said, Ben Kingsley's amazing. So
yeah,
it's not certainly. I just
think he was now as the on Marvel as the what is he, the terrorist guy there? He's so good. We did already discuss River Phoenix as Carl. I think he absolutely would have. He's the young gun who's trying to prove himself and like get in with these guys. And then we have Sidney Poitier. Oh my God, I love you, Sidney Poitier. I love him. He plays John.
He's another one. Yeah.
He's the former CIA operative, so he's the one who actually brings discipline. He brings, like, actual tactical experience. He's the team's coordinator, and he's the one, when they realize they're in trouble, he's the one who says, shut and lock the doors, shut all the windows, turn off the lights, and he gets his gun on. Like, he's the one who's like very like procedural and stuff like that. We mentioned David Strathern as Whistler, and I need to look up the person he's based on, because he is based off of someone who actually is blind and was working in the business.
So many things, and of course, maybe the most sci-fi thing we recently he was in The Expanse.
In The Expanse, yep.
Yeah.
David's in everything. David's just
he's in a lot of stuff. He's one of those actors that you see him, but you don't remember his name.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's been in so many things, and you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he was great in The Expanse. His character was awesome. He really pulled it off. He's actually a very good actor.
He's amazing. I love everything he's in. We already mentioned Timothy Busfield and Eddie Jones as the two NSA agents. George Hearn played Gregor Ivanovich. Stephen Tobolowsky as Werner Brandis. Donald Logue, who went on to do other things, as Dr. Gunther Yannick. And then James Earl Jones. But this movie, or this script, I should say, kind of got kicked off by two guys who were doing research for war games, and they were like kind of getting into the computer, like they were researching the whole computer thing, and they learned about Black Hatters, which is why the first thing I wrote in the chat was hello Black Hatters, who are actual hackers. And they started learning about these hackers, and next thing you know, this whole script was born. And they kind of the A, you talk about RSA, Leonard Adelman was the mathematical consultant. He is the A of RSA. He's known for the code work that we still rely on in a way today. And then the character Bernard Abbott, that is James Earl Jones's character. He was named after Robert Abbott, the so-called father of informational security, who was also a consultant on the film. Whistler is the name Joseph Angrecia, and also a guy named John Crunch Draper. And they nod to Crunch when they're playing Scrabble. The word crunch is on the Scrabble board, and then they add an S and a Y to make scrunchy.
Which is funny. You mentioned that. They said scrunchy's not a word. I guess the little hair tie thing hadn't been invented yet.
Scrunchy.
Scrunchy.
Crease. So Sidney Poitier's character was based on John Strauss, a former CIA officer who founded the security consulting firm Systec Group. And Dan Aykroyd's brother Peter is the one who supplied all the weird, strange stuff like cattle mutilations are up or whatever, the staged moon landing and all that other stuff. So, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I didn't realize you were going to go through every single.
No, well, because I think, because to me that's fascinating. Like I didn't know that they were all real people. I didn't know how much research. I didn't realize how completely at the time in 1991, when 92, whatever year, when this thing came out, it was dead accurate and kind of state of the art. And now here we are, 30 something years later, and it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's what I said. If you haven't seen it in a long time, you're like, oh, it's got to be such a dated movie. It really isn't, and I think it still holds up from an entertainment standpoint.
Absolutely,
alone, it's still a good movie. I mean, the things that you'll like, I think younger people that we don't notice because we grew up in that era, and is like younger people. I say, why don't they have a cell phone? Like, why aren't they calling people on cell phones?
They didn't exist yet.
They had cell phones in 92, but they were those big chunky things and not a lot of people had them. He did have a car phone though. You remember? Because in the Carmen Gia, because that's how Sidney Poitier got him away from the table when they were just about ready.
Oh, that's right. The one from the car with
your mother's on the phone, and he had the phone in his hand, so he had a car phone. By the way, that Carmen Gia was the same one Mike Myers drove in So I Married an Actor.
Is it really?
Just a little FYI.
It looked a little junky. Like, doesn't the door not shut? Like when they're getting their getaway,
their Carbon Gias they're basically Volkswagen Bugs with a different body. It's the same car. It's the same engine, everything. It's just, so they're kind of cool because they're convertibles. I know people that had them, but they weren't necessarily. I mean, a great car. They weren't expensive cars. Let's put it that way. Did you catch James Earl Jones at the end? He's like, "What's important is that this never happened."
Yeah.
Did you catch that line?
Yeah.
That was definitely from Hunt for Red October.
Oh yeah. Because he says the exact same thing. When he hangs the phone, and October, he's like hanging the phone up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was never here. This never happened. And I was never here.
Never here. Yeah. Which is another. We did Hunt for Red October. Such a good movie.
We did do Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, years.
Every now and again, every now and again, a non-sci-fi movie slides in.
I think this one kind of counts though, because of the tech. Some of the tech was a little beyond. I mean, obviously they don't have so I'd call it that qualifies as science fiction to some degree. So
it qualifies. So other heist movies. I mean, how do you feel as far as it's not just heist. It's like because it's not like Ocean's 11 where we're getting money.
No, it wasn't. They weren't doing it. They weren't initially doing. Well, they initially did the initial heist to steal the black box was to get paid.
Yeah, that's true.
But then to steal it back was just to do the right thing because they realized how dangerous it could be. And I also think they didn't like the fact they were going to kill him. They weren't going to let him get away with. They were going to be able to enjoy the money anyway because these people were just going to kill him anyway because they didn't want anybody knowing about this thing.
Yeah.
So, it was just so by comparing it to today's, they all kind of run the same. I mean, Ocean's 11 is probably one of my favorite. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time for sure because I can always rewatch that. And really, almost all three of them I like, especially the first and the third one.
They're good.
Series. And I watched the original one with Frank Sinatra, which is good, but it's not nearly as good as the modern Brad Pitt. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? The other main character.
Oh,
George Clooney. Film.
But like for tech hackers, I'd go the movie. Well, maybe The Italian Job, but that's also not. I mean,
I think the funny part of The Italian Job is the one character. What's his name there?
Channing Tatum.
Seth Green, though, keeps talking about how he invented Napster, which is so even it's so old. Napster was 20 years ago was a thing.
The other movie I talked to you, I was like, well, maybe we could bundle the two movies. Was Now You See Me. I like that, but that's all it's sort of a tech heist. But they're all illusionists, so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Now You See Me. Yeah, that one's that's definitely a heist movie. There's no question about it. There's Christopher Roche saying Star Trek 4 is a heist movie. Well, they do. They don't really. Do they steal the whale?
They stole the whale.
The whale kind of wants to. I mean, they don't really talk to the whale to see if it wanted to go. But as far as the whale is concerned, the whale was like one ocean. It's the difference. At least I don't have people throwing harpoons at me in the 23rd century.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess they sort of got permission from what's her name, right, to take the whale.
Yeah, sort of. We've also got a movie like Hackers from 1995, maybe Live
Yeah, I think with the 90s, as you guys know, since you're all probably in our age range, was the boom of the internet. I mean, that's when the internet really became a thing. And I think a lot of movies at the time we had The Matrix, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, not a heist movie by any means, but certainly techno, based on computers controlling everything. And of course, we already saw it way back, and you go all the way back to the Terminator.
Yeah.
So they were starting to see where computers were going.
Where computers were
Quite early.
going.
Even if you can go back even farther than that, if you go into the 70s, you have movies like what was the one I'm thinking? Project. I can't think of the name of the movie now. You got it's one of these old. Yeah, we talked about it. I think
You'll think of it.
But anyway, there was a lot of movies where basically the AI or the super. We talked about it in the AI show, where the supercomputers basically became too smart for our own good, and you know.
It's a common trope.
Even war games, you know. Do you want to play
War Games is a great example. I think War Games counts as a it's not a heist, but it's in that same vein of computer technology going awry.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Speaking of, and then guys, if you just love Robert Redford and you just want to see him do thrillers or heisty kind of things, check out 3 Days of the Condor, which is 1975.
Excellent movie.
Or Spy Game, which is from 2001. Those are two other Robert Redford.
But I can't remember it.
Spy Game. We could have bundled it with this movie tonight and done a Robert Redford twofer.
We could have thrown in what's the other one he's always famous for? I can't think of it. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Not sci-fi. Not sci-fi.
No, but I think that was probably one of the movies that put him on the map back in the day. I remember, I think my parents went to see that. I was too young. I don't.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I call him. I always considered Redford kind of the Brad Pitt of the 70s and 80s, kind of, you know what I'm saying? He kind of had that. He was a good looking guy. He was a good actor, and I think he just kind of fit that same kind of thing where I think Pitt's actually a better actor, in my opinion, because I think he has a broader range.
Yeah, maybe.
No, Brad Pitt, when I first saw I think one of the first things I saw him in was
Thelma and Louise.
No, was he was in that, I don't remember. Was 12 Monkeys. The movie.
Oh,
he plays he goes.
Yes, you're right. He does.
He plays that incredible. Yeah. That Fight Club. I mean,
Fight Club was good. Yeah, I think the first thing I probably saw him in was Thelma and Louise. I don't know if I saw him before.
No, I think probably one of the first ones I know. Well, I don't know if it was the first movie I saw, but I was watching.
There's a small part.
Monkeys, and I was watching the scenes where he's playing the crazy. He's in the institution and he's playing this crazy guy, and I'm like, I said he's selling that so well. I'm like, that's why I said that he can act. I mean, he really isn't just a pretty face.
Well, it was like saying, you know what that was like? That was like seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
He was
a good
so
actor.
good in that.
Yeah, I like that. What was it one he just did? Was it Hollywood Story or something? Is that the name of it?
I don't know.
I think it's him and Pitt too. Yeah, it's him and Brad Pitt.
It's always the same people over and over and over.
Something, I don't know. I forget. Somebody in the chat will remind me whatever it was. So
they reminded me that I was thinking. Well,
Bill, that's the one I was thinking of. Colossus, the Forbidden Project. Yeah, and Chris Soros got it too. Yep, and Ken Schmidt got it. I got to give you all the credit. Thank you.
Job, guys.
That was the one I was trying to think of. So I mean, really, they're going back. That was well into the 70s, prior to Star Wars. We forget all these other good movies that were in the 70s because
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That might be it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Steve Martin's L.A. Story, which is another great movie.
That was a good one too.
I like that one. So I liked it because it was funny. Because I think you remember when that movie, around that time the movie came out, people were like literally just shooting at each other in cars, like on the LA freeway. Like people would just like literally.
Yeah, I really remember that. Yeah.
So they kind of made it funny because I remember they were like in traffic and they're all like, he's trying to get his gun out and he's just waving it around because that's what everybody did in LA. I just thought that was hysterical. That was hysterical.
That movie was very much a product of its time. Like if you watched it now, you'd be like,
it made fun of Los Angeles and its indigenous creatures. Yeah. The whole thing with the coffee, which was funny because there's a scene where they're like ordering coffee and they're all ordering it like these fancy half cap with a decaf with a twist and a quart, like all these long. And I'm like, oh my God, that's today. Like every time somebody goes in and orders coffee, it's this long thing of what they want. And I'm like, black
with
in a paper cup.
Point what?
Yeah. But that was, it's funny because a lot of that stuff I've noticed that always seems to start in California and then moves across the country.
Yeah, it comes east. Nothing really starts in New York because New Yorkers are just like, give me my coffee.
I remember when we were out, it was like around 98, we were in San Diego, and the first time I've ever had a mocha latte, and I thought these were the best things ever, and I kept drinking them until I couldn't figure out why I was vibrating all the time. Because I was so hopped up on sugar and caffeine.
They're like 1,000 calories each. They are good though.
I was young then, What are you gonna say? I was.
So you don't get that stuff in Massachusetts. In Boston, people junkies, they get their black and they move on. There's none of that going on.
Well, the first time, I'll tell you another thing. When with that same trip, when we were in San Diego, it was the first time we went into a bar, like a nightclub, and smoking. They had already banned smoking. I don't know if it was the state or the city, or whatever, but they had banned smoking indoors. So we're like, this is awesome. We're at a nightclub. We're enjoying the band.
We can breathe.
My eyes aren't burning. And it's not full. And I go back to the East Coast. It's like, I'm like, so it was there first, and the first time I ever saw. I know we're way off topic, but what the hell? Well, those heaters that you put outside.
The outdoor heaters.
I remember we were eating outside this restaurant, and it was a chilly night, even for San Diego. I think we were up in Soho. And I'm like, and we're outside and they have these heater things. And I'm like, what a monumental waste of energy. This is so decadent. We're literally just pouring heat outside so that we can huddle next to this stupid thing and eat outside so that I'm like, and it wasn't even that comfortable because you got too close to it, you're hot, too far away, you're told. There was no medium.
Yeah, there's no happy medium.
I just thought it was the biggest. I still think they're a big, huge waste.
East Coasters look at things completely different from West Coasters. Like West Coasters will do the extravagant thing and they don't care. East Coasters are like deadline practical. Like they don't,
But we have those now. Those are all over the place, those heater things. I mean, it's totally common.
We have them now. More when COVID came, I saw more of the outdoor, like everyone gets their own individual glass tent. Like not glass, plastic bubble tent. There are a bunch of restaurants. The restaurant that has changed hands about 4 times in the last 5 years. That's right by me. They tried that in the wintertime. They had these big, it was like an inflatable bubble thing. Yeah. So you can eat outside in the winter. They had like a heater in there. But it was like, no, it was like the whole table and everything was big. It wasn't just one person. Yeah. It fit like 4 or 5 people. Like, why would I want to do that? I don't understand why I want to watch you eat in the wintertime. So you can enjoy the snow falling?
I guess. I don't know. It was stupid. Clearly, it didn't take. So, anyway. Oh, my God. We're almost at the end of the hour.
All right.
I'll just wrap this up. Great movie. I rewatch it. Go back out. It's actually on Prime right now. So, if you have Prime, watch it for free. Well, you paid for Prime. But it's good. So, go watch it. What has Roy got going on?
Right, nothing. He has not posted anything. And Phil, and I lost Phil. Where'd Phil go? Come back, Phil. There's Phil. Phil, as usual, will be at the Coxsackie flea market because that's where he hangs out. But tomorrow, he'll be doing his usual Thursday lineup. He'll have Bo McNulty at noon. He'll do the Captain Phil's Planet at 4. And then he's filling in for DJ Chris Laporta from 8 to 10. And he doesn't know what he's going to be playing, so why don't we go ahead and give him some recommendations? I don't know. This Sunday morning from 6 to 8. Oh, my God, that's early, Phil. Good Lord. I don't know why you're going to be up that early, but he'll be up that early spinning some tunes, probably some the Music Library Jam show. Don't know what that is. And like I said, he will be at the Coxsackie Flea Market. Also, Phil will be at the Shatner event in June if you guys want to meet Captain Phil in person. On Friday, he's doing a couple presentations for me. And Saturday, he will be
Saturday, as long as it's not raining.
Yeah, as long as it's not raining. If it is raining, but we will have tents. We're going to have some coverage.
Yes, there's going to be tents. So I don't know what we're doing next week.
And next week is our last week before Shatner because I will be in Ticonderoga on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we'll do something maybe easy. I don't know. At some point, though, I want to do. I told Mary Beth I want to do the Defiance, the TV show back years on Sci-Fi.
And so I have started rewatching it.
Yeah, so it's only 3 seasons. It's like 13 episodes a season, so it's not horrible. It was a pretty good show. It did end on a cliffhanger, so be warned.
Oh, that I'm watching
typical Sci-Fi channel. Oh, we got to see, and no, we're just not going to renew it. But the reason I was hoping, and I haven't even asked him yet, is maybe Doug Drexler would come on because he did work on that show.
Okay.
So maybe he'll, but that was just, I have not even, like I said, he doesn't even know that I just like him. He doesn't watch this. So,
all right.
But I was
Because
going to
started,
message him and say, hey, if you want to do it. But he's really busy.
and I was
so
like,
not
I was
putting
like,
him on.
I remember the show. And then they show the doctor, the female bald like alien doctor who's really snarky.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I remember this. I remember I saw this. Yeah.
No, I watched it. It was a pretty good show. I thought it was pretty good. It had
show.
a lot of
They
potential.
poured some money. So it starts out the bang was like a big fight and everything. The first 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into the first episode.
The design is great. The special effects are amazing.
Yeah,
so
I think
far.
it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. It's too bad that they canceled it. I don't know, maybe
out
like
there
it seems to be Sci-Fi's MO of years ago is they get a good show and now we're just gonna cancel it now.
Yeah. Well, all right, kids.
I don't know what we're gonna do next week though, because we're not gonna. I doubt you'll have time to get all that in, and we'll get it together. If you do,
no, I will not be able to watch 3 seasons before next.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Okay, yeah, I don't know. We'll come up unless somebody's got some suggestions. We're always.
And we do every now and again. We do wander away from sci-fi. So if you've got a non-sci-fi suggestion, I'll take that too. But
it can be sci-fi adjacent, like this movie.
It can be sci-fi adjacent.
Sci-fi adjacent. So. All right. On that note, I'll say good night. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you always. Good night.
Bye, guys.